Welcome to my channel. Now, in today's class, we have to discuss with that object-oriented programming to C++. So here, whenever you want to learn the C++ language, first you know about the C language. So here, the basics of the C language is how to implement it. It is a function-oriented programming language. So here, whenever you have to discuss with the C++, so mainly the languages, whenever you want to learn, what is the language? Language is simply you can say that it is a collection of programs. What is a program? Program is a set of statements, a block of statements. Simply you can represent it. We have to take in the raw bit information and it gives the meaningful output. So based on this, we have to implement it. So now we have to discuss with the C++ language. So whenever you want to discuss with the C++ language, first you learn about what is the procedure-oriented paradigm, what is the object-oriented paradigm, and what is the generic-oriented paradigm. First one, of procedure-oriented program. Procedure-oriented paradigm, the block of statements we have to represent it with the procedure. That type of paradigm languages comes under this procedure-oriented paradigm language. So here, whatever like example, we have to see the whereas you have to consider the L code. So whatever the code you have to retain within the procedure. So the next one is the procedure one. Next one is the function-oriented paradigm. In the function-oriented paradigm, whatever the statements we have to retain within the functions, or simply you can say that the function-oriented paradigm. See here, you have to show std of vector. So like you have to use the function-oriented paradigm language. So here, whatever the code you have to retain within the function, like main function, you have to use the in C programming. This type of programming paradigm is called as functional or procedure-oriented paradigm language. So next one is the object-oriented paradigm. Whatever the code we have to retain within the classes. So whatever the code you have to retain within the class only. This type of programming paradigm language are called object-oriented programming paradigm language. Example, Java. So next one is the generic programming paradigm. Whatever the code you have to retain within the templates, whatever the code you have, here you have to see, whatever the code you have to retain within the templates, that type of programming paradigm languages are called generic programming paradigm languages. So these are the different types of programming paradigms nowadays you are using. So whereas you have to consider with the C++, so all these paradigms we have to represent it in a single language, that is simply call it as object-oriented. Here you call it as C++. So C++ is implemented by the Bejan startup. Here you can study all these all the concepts regarding to the various paradigms you have to use. Those all paradigms you have to use in C++ language. So first one you have to consider the procedure-oriented. Whatever the code you have to retain, like C language. So whatever the code you have to retain within the procedure or function, that type of concept you have to use in C++. And a similar way, you can use whatever the code you have to retain within the classes. Those classes you have to use it in object-oriented paradigm. And also it supports similar way in C++. It supports the generic programming paradigm also. Whatever the code you have to retain within the templates also. So this is the basic history about the C++. Once you have to understand this understand this way, various paradigms of those paradigms you have to use in C++ language. This is the basic history about the C language, C++ language. Now you have to discuss furtherly. You can discuss here